our dinner, we just do the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda to approve our agenda.
Second.
Motion by Weeks, second by Feldheim. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. This time we'll open the meeting up for any public comments or anyone wish to address the commission this morning on any issue that's not on the agenda.
Just concerned about this pipeline deal still again. These people have not been following any setbacks, and I don't know what's getting done with it. They seem to ignore anything the county does. I don't know if they've been notified that there are setbacks, or they should be, or they're supposed to research that themselves. And another thing I'm worried about too is if this gets built, is the roads will get extra traffic and put weight on them in the area where the pipeline is being built. And I'm wondering if it's possible to have those people post a bond to cover any damage they have. I guess maybe that should be looked at ahead of time before they get here. So, and I was wondering if the state's attorney is getting anything done to prosecute some of these crimes that they've committed. So, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything you'd like to address the commission on this morning? Online, on the phone? Seeing none, we will move on. Next up, Freddie Robinson, request for clubhouse rental fee waiver for the Army Reserve Union. Good morning, Freddie.
Good morning. Thanks for giving me a slot. A few years ago, the Army Reserve, which includes the 452nd, which is the current unit here, plus previously there was an engineer unit, and I'm not sure what the other one was. But we've already got 100 signed up for the reunion. We've talked to Ripley about the slot out there. We have the 30th reserved, and we're working on the 1st. And last time we had it, you waived the fee, and we're asking for the same thing again now.
One of the things that we've discussed with the current fair manager is, and I know previously we waived fees, but because of the increase in the ongoing expenditures that we're forced to deal with at the fairgrounds, we've gotten several requests by nonprofits or other groups to waive fees. So one of the suggestions was to come up with a minimum fee, because regardless whether it's Clubhouse or the Holem or the Odie, whatever they're looking to use as a venue, the county is responsible for making sure those venues are clean prior to the event. We have the utility costs for the day or the weekend or whatever of the event, and then after the event, going in and making sure that the garbage is emptied and it's cleaned up and ready for the next event. So the suggestion was to establish a minimum fee or a lesser fee or a reduced fee for the use of Clubhouse, the Holem, the Odie, whatever the building is. And the suggestion was to, instead of waiving the whole fee, charging 50% of the fee. The clubhouse for rental of the rental for the clubhouse is $400, so that would make it $200. The Holem is $500, so that way we're treating every nonprofit the same and equally. We're not, arbitrarily just choosing who we waive fees for, because the county does have associated costs that go with those buildings. So that's just a suggestion. Another suggestion, and we've got the Brown County Fair coming up. One of the things that they're struggling with this year particularly is finding groups who have in the past man some of the gates during the fair. The suggestion was, in lieu of charging 50% of whatever the rate is for that building, possibility of maybe that group, in this case your group, manning one of the gates from 7 a.m. to midnight, Wednesday through Saturday. So it'd be a 4-day commitment, but then we would waive the fee entirely for an in-kind contribution to the fair. So those are just a couple suggestions when I met with the fair manager yesterday and came up with that thought as far as helping the county out with our associated costs. I would open it up for any other comments.
We're bringing people in from out of town that are gonna buy gas and food and hotel rooms, and there's only one group like ours.
And that is an argument we hear from every group that asks us.
I'm sure.
And
I figured I'd better throw my 2 cents worth in.
No, and I understand and appreciate that. And your previous comment, all that revenue that you're bringing into Aberdeen, the county realizes not 1 penny of that. We get no sales tax revenue. The motels may, experience an influx. The restaurants may experience an influx from your group being here, but, the county realizes nothing from that influx of people. So, I understand your argument, don't get me wrong, but I'm just pointing out the facts, so.
I understand the finances.
Yep.
I'm an old fair board president, so
Yep.
I know where the money goes and where it comes from.
You bet. And so I'm just offering that as a possibility as we make our decision here today. If any other commissioners would like to weigh in on your thoughts, or the request is to waive the rental fee for this reunion, so. Thoughts?
So the Fair Board's discussed but has not adopted a policy?
They have not adopted a policy. When they saw this on the agenda, it kind of made them realize that we've got a lot of other non-profit groups, the Humane Society, for example. They utilize, I think, the Holum for their annual spring sale or whatever, but the thought was if we would keep it simple and just charge, waive half of the fee, so just charge 50% of whatever the rental rate is, that would simplify it. You wouldn't come up with a new pricing structure or any criteria, and they would add that line to the application for occupancy, or the lease, I should say. It would be handled on a case-by-case basis. So just like this, they would come to the commission, ask for permission to waive 50% of that fee, and the commission would either, approve or deny. As far as a written policy, we don't have anything in place now, but it was just a suggestion that because of the associated cost that we start with this policy.
Well, I'm sure it's not like the money's the big issue. You got 100 people, it's $2 each. It's the hassle of collecting and going through that is more of the, I would say, more of the difficult part than the $200 when you got 100 people showing up.
I would bet that rather than charge those that are coming, members of the committee are probably just gonna have to dig in their own pockets.
Unless members of the committee would want to man a gate during the fair.
They already have a display out there that they man. So.
Sure. But again, I told the fair manager I would make everyone aware of what was discussed, so I open it up to the commission for action. And I can't make a motion, so I need to open it up to the commission for action.
Can I make a motion?
Well, I guess number one, we don't have a policy in place. And that's what we've done in the past, is we waived the fee. So I guess I'm looking at the fact that we waived the fee and we put our policy in place from here there forward, whether that be August 1st or whatever date, but I don't think we can all of a sudden just put a policy in. So my suggestion would be is we give them rent-free and we design the policy to do the 50%, which I think is more than fair, because we do have a lot of nonprofits that do use the building, and I guess at this point, if we charge them and we haven't charged the ones in the past, where do we draw the line? So I think we need to put the policy in and then go forward.
Is that a motion?
I can make that motion as that sets.
Okay, we have a motion by Feldheim to waive the fee, a second by Weiss. Is there any
With the
further-
option to set the policy in place.
Yeah, when the Fair Board brings us a policy recommendation, we adopt it for consistency.
Okay, is there any further discussion or input?
I think that's fair if we waive the fee this time with the intention of moving forward with the fee, 'cause I hate to spring it on you guys, on you today, but it would make sense to put some kind of policy in place to recoup some of the costs that we have.
Fair Board meets tomorrow night, so we'll make sure we mention that that's policy they need to work on, so. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with your reunion.
Yep.
Thanks, Freddie.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, next up, Dirk Rogers, speed zone changes, right away, and department update.
We'll work it out.
Morning, Dirk.
Wow.
You're popular today. These guys
I
are all
find that
here,
hard to believe, Dwayne, but
you're all here for the speed zone ordinance.
sure. Did, Dwayne, or, Doug, yours got kicked back to me, but the rest of you, did you see it? I sent you a copy of it yesterday. So, is that first?
Yes.
It is.
Unless you guys have questions on it. And Lynn, I just kinda cannibalized that old one. I don't know if I had everything right in there, but the stuff about where the speed zone is, that's what I was trying to say. I'm comfortable with that. I proofread it about 3 times. I don't know if I got the rest of that form in there right. Just to recap, there's three changes on here. One's on County Road 4, Dakota Street. The north half mile of that will go from 55 to 45. West of Wiley currently goes 25 till you're out of the city limits, then it goes to 55, and then it goes back to 45. So we're gonna take that 55 out. I did get a request from a couple landowners out there, and it is a spot where it's basically a subdivision out there, you know. So then that'll be 25 on the city portion, 35 on our portion, and then it goes to 45 when you get to the gravel and continue west. And then the third change came out of our lengthy discussion and the Jake break and all that kind of stuff. We still have to put, this is on the side here, we still have to put the no passing zone up there. I'll get that done this summer when the stripers come around. But that change takes the last mile there, that's currently 55, and puts it down to 45, starting at 1 mile back on the Ordway Township Road there. So, unless you want to have any further discussion about it, those are all things that we've talked about in the past, and with the exception of that Wiley one, but that's almost a no-brainer to me.
Right.
So,
Is it just a half mile on the Prairie Wood Road?
no, I think it's a whole mile. I can double check it.
On the
but-
bottom line here, it says the east 1/2 mile to intersection of County Road 14. If I remember in our discussion,
No, it's a whole mile, just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be, you can make that change. That should be east 1 mile to the intersection of 14. They can,
How many times you read it?
about 6.
One more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll start right there at Rolls Corner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you hadn't caught that, the description would take the precedent on it, on where it starts and stops with the section line or with the section corners. But that's correct. I pulled that, all I did was copy County Road 15 and cannibalize it again, and I didn't make that change, so thank you. So with that change, I guess I'd recommend the rest of it is, good.
All right, any questions for Dirk? Understand what we're doing?
So moved as amended.
Okay, motion by Weiss. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Feldheim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I've got a right-of-way occupancy from Northern Electric. It's, up there on either side of State 10. Let's go to this one. So it goes, it's a total of 3,500 feet, so it's about a half mile up here, down to here, on the east ditch. It's for, primary electrical for Northern Electric.
You're recommending approval?
I am recommending approval.
Second by Weiss, second by Dennert. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Department update.
Get hold of maintenance for that chair.
I guess. It didn't fall.
You made it worse, you were.
We well enough alone.
So the projects we got going right now, we're working on Road 5 up there, west of Frederick. As I said before, we're gonna leave that first mile for this year. We'll do some extensive work on it when we have a little more time. But starting with the second mile, we should have it prepped by the end of tomorrow, for the stuff that we have to do. And then we'll probably spend the rest of the week addressing a couple of soft spots that have developed over the winter, which, you know, that's the point of leaving it through the winter. So that's definitely served its purpose, and for whatever inconvenience some folks suffered through there for a while, I think in the end it's kind of a no-brainer. Helps us to find where the problems are, obviously. So, and then I think they're gonna start priming it and paving it, probably prime it next week and pave it the week after, so that in the next couple weeks that should be going pretty good. Elm Lake project, they're moving dirt. They've got a good portion of the east-west part of it done already. Once they get in there, they're okay. Getting in and out of the project's been a bit hectic, but they're hoping that by the end of today, everybody close their ears, general public, but by the end of today, you should be able to drive in there, which will make it a lot easier. You can like drive all the way through it to go and do work. We've been having to get some assistance from Mites to get some equipment so we can drive stuff in there. It's been a little tough, but they're coming along. It's probably still looking at, I think I said 30 days last week. It's still about 30 days, so, but it's progressing, and, you know, timelines aren't always what everybody wants, but in the end, we're gonna have a nice, affordable piece of infrastructure up there we can move forward with, so. And I did get a few comments about building the bridge versus that road. And if you built the bridge in there at today's price versus what this road's gonna cost, you don't ever get to equilibrium, meaning that unless the road washes out every single year and you're putting, the bridge will need to be, or a bridge in that scenario would need to be replaced before you would ever spend $4 million maintaining 2 miles of gravel road. Just, I know that's come up a couple times, and I'm sure it was an anxious fisherman that thought that was a good idea, but,
Sure. But first of all, the road isn't costing the county anything
No.
at this point. It'll cost the county in the future for maintenance is all.
right. And, I mean, a real ballparky number over a lifetime of a gravel road, I'm not saying every year and there's exceptions, but that's like a $5,000 or $6,000 cost. And up there, I doubt it's even gonna be that much because of the type of traffic it'll have. Bridge 211, that's the one north and east of Frederick, that'll be open today at 10 o'clock, so that bridge will be all done. At some point out here in the next couple of weeks, I'll submit all the reimbursements back, and we'll get 95 or 94.6% of the money back or something on that project, so that'll be nice. And we, the county forces, we kinda took a little time out there over the 4th so that we didn't end up shooting oil on anybody in Columbia having a bake sale. So we're gonna go back, start today in Columbia, and we got about a little over 2 miles we'll do there, and then we pick up and go north of the bridge at Sand Lake and do the last 6 miles up there. So that's moving along pretty decent.
Going to two other, okay, so you got any questions about work we're doing right now? I'm gonna talk quick about the low volume bridge thing I talked about a little bit last year, and I have to talk to you about our tractor purchase since we tipped that other one over. But if you have any more questions about stuff that's ongoing right now. Okay. I mentioned a little bit about that bridge funding program, and I believe today at 2, I'm gonna sit through a Teams meeting about it, get some more detail. But in general, like I said, it's bridges that are on they're off-system bridges, which means they're on the red roads on that map up there, the off-system. So if they're on the red roads or a township road, those bridges would qualify for this new program that has no match. You guys know how I feel about spending money regardless of whose it is in some locations. However, I'm gonna make an exception here because I think there's a few things we can target some of this money that will actually help us. I don't wanna get into the per dollar value of it and all that kind of stuff, but as of right now, we picked out 6 bridges, and maybe 1 or 2 of these 6 may have been replaced at some point, you know, with the way that I've been doing it. But the other 4 are definitely ones that I would be a hard sell if we were paying 80% of it or something like that. So, and does anybody have a marker? I'll just run over here and circle them on the map quick so we
Got a highlighter.
Well, we'll see if it works. So, bridge map here. So there's 6 of them that I'm thinking about. One of them's right here. That's a mile, I mean, we're gonna get into some obscure bridges here, okay? That one might not even qualify. It might be too good yet. But that's one that will get replaced someday because the township does a good job with the road, and, so that would be one of them. Down here at, where's Schlei's at? That's 18. It's this one. That one's closed and that one's closed. And this isn't a huge area, but that's a pretty good-sized bridge that sits up high. Again, we'd be looking at an alternative there. So we'll submit that one. That's a good opportunity there, I think. 1, 2. This one over here. That's the one's actually in Edmonds County. The county line runs right through the bridge. That's why the number on it is 000, because it's so far this way. That's out by Strohschein's, and it goes down and comes back, and we have 2 more structures down here that we just kind of fixed up a little bit. These have all been replaced with pipe, except this one going down here. So this would be one. How many we got there? 1, 2, 3. Hall Crossing. Up there would be one. I think that qualifies. It's still a bridge. Little bit of mixed feelings about it, but I gotta be honest, if you go back over the last 10 years and pull up, if you could divide the whole road system into 100-foot segments, that's by far the most expensive 100-foot segment we have. And it drives me bonkers, but...
It's just a hole you throw money in.
I know. That's like kind of an analogy I can't say out.
It's like having a boat.
So I think that's a good spot. We could do it there, you know, right next to the other bridge. I don't know, like I said, it's 100% money.
What are you really gonna put in there that's gonna solve that?
It might be a bridge. It might be I don't know how else you get over those flows, you know?
Gotta keep it high enough because it washes out if you put anything else in there.
Right. 4. And, you know, I was so proud of myself that I was gonna be able to do all 6 of these and not forget one. And we're up to 4, huh? Oh, 350. Where's that one? What's this one? This isn't right.
This one, something happened to it, it got posted way down. We were gonna lift it up and put new piling under it, or, you know, we were gonna salvage what's there anyway, so we'll throw that one into the program. And I will find one more. I can't remember where the heck it was. Oh, I know, down here. This one causes us some grief right here. This one's okay structurally, it's a set of pipe, and this is one of those areas, this water flows north for a while, gets up to Fernie, and then it turns around and goes back. These runs down here are all snaky. There was a bridge in here at one time, we put in a bunch of pipe, and it's just over the years, it's gotten to where it's not quite as bad as Hall Crossing, but it does get over top frequently. The township's been pretty good. They've participated in it, even though it's technically ours. They've gone in there and straightened it out. One time they paid, one time they did it and sent us a bill, which was fine. But that's another location. Plus with what's going on at the Hutterite colony, they have trouble getting people into to the dairy and the stuff down there when both 18 and that are underwater, so those are the 6. I don't know, they're pretty obscure, they're not, you know, other than like Hall Crossing and a couple of these aren't things that we talk about a lot, but those are ones I want to submit, and really, we're getting down there really good. I mean, we don't even, you know, there's this one that's right north over the gym, and there's one north of where are we? Right there, over the gym. I'm not really looking at those at this time. Those are a little more substantial. This one, to me, is completely redundant. And it's not even redundant in the sense of the Hall Crossing is there's limited, it's all a slough up there in the river bottom. I'm not saying nobody ever needs that, but it's not like here where you cross the thing and the field's right there, you know. This you get across it, and then if you're lucky, the road's still not underwater, and you can get over to 400.
It's underwater, half the township's underwater.
Yeah. So anyway, I rambled on a little bit there, but unless you guys have any objections about that, we'll start the process to apply for those 6 bridges and see what happens. Spring County got 9 bridges in one of these programs, you know, in the last few years ago. And then he bragged about that, and I said, well, we don't even have 9 that qualify because we take care of our stuff, Jeff. And then the tractor, I would like to purchase a tractor. We don't need to add any money. We'll go in the backyard and surplus some stuff out. But we did, a while back, a couple months ago, our guy was coming in with the reclaimer. He wasn't doing anything. He was headed back to the shop and met a seed tender semi on the posted road. I just throw that in there, and pulled over to avoid it and hit a soft spot and tipped the tractor over. You know, because when you damage the ROPS on something, you're done pretty much with it. And so we did get 49,900 or something, 50,000 back from insurance for it, which is actually what we paid for the tractor a few years back, so that was all right. Obviously, that's not even close to replacement on it, though. We've been shopping around for quite a while on the tractors and trying to do rental stuff. We rented one last year for about $25 an hour, which wasn't horrible, but that was still more than we really needed to pay. So I would like to purchase, it's $159,000, it's a New Holland. They have it at Titan, so you might have to run down to Sioux Falls and get it, but it's on the ground somewhere, we'll be able to use it right away. And then the $159,000, we got 50 back from insurance. We're gonna surplus, I've been waiting to surplus a blade and a couple other things. The blade I asked around should be around $70,000 for that. I'm also gonna talk to Mike, cause he's got that other blade that's not worth as much as this one, but we might trade if we can work something out. And then I have a couple other things I wanna look at it for surplus, whether or not we can scratch up the whole 159, I don't know, but we're already to 120, and I think we can make that work unless you guys have a huge objection. We have been looking around, I got a quote from on all kinds of different tractors. We've had great luck with John Deere in the past, but our price point right now is isn't quite meshing, and that's okay.
We have an old New Holland tractor we got for surplus, from the state, and that thing has been just about, no major problems, so we're pretty comfortable
What
with it.
horsepower is the one you're looking at?
138. Perfect world, we go a little bit higher, but that's plenty for what we need. We've had them as small as 120.
What's that tractor used for, mowing? Is that,
That's what we'll use it for, mowing, and then occasionally it'll pull a packer or pull a, but for the most part, it's just mowing. And it's a big number to just have a mowing tractor. Once we get going on it, I was trying to hit the sweet spot where we could have something that could handle a big enough snow blower to be worthwhile, but not be too big to mow with, and those numbers are about another 60,000 to get in there, and so we went, that's why we bought the snow blower, we already had the loaders for it.
front wheel assist?
Yep. Yeah.
Did the guy get hurt driving the tractor?
No. No. He wasn't going very fast, but, I don't even know what you do with that one. I guess you could have been going even slower when he went in there, but I think he'd have tipped over anyway, because it was just a gumbo hole he drove into.
Wasn't doing anything he shouldn't have been doing,
No.
just
No.
that situation.
No, so,
Finding good used equipment's not an easy thing to do.
no. And the other thing I will point out, this thing will be here after all of you except you two are gone, so we keep stuff for, this isn't like a 3-year deal. This is one of those purchases, like our excavator that we bought 23 years ago, and at this point, you just keep running it, So I'm assuming unless it's a dog, this thing will be around forever, and we haven't bought a new tractor since 2002. I'm talking brand spanking new, so I don't need any more money for it or anything, I just wanted to make y'all aware unless you had some big objection there. So, okay.
You know what you need.
Well, I'd like to think so, or at least act like I do. Well, that's all I got, I think, unless you guys have some other fun stuff.
I think we're good. Thank
All
you,
right,
Dirk.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dirk.
Yes.
Sir, do you have a sheet with those speed changes on it? That I can fill? Thank you.
That isn't an exact copy of what she's got, but all the information's in there.
Maybe, thank you. Maybe there's a problem with it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dirk.
Yep. If you want a bigger tractor, I got some grant funds.
Next up, Mike Scott.
Why are you telling me that now?
Just to tease you.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yep. As everyone knows, we got some grant funds here a few weeks back on payloader purchase. If you're looking at the bottom line, that's the main thing you want to look at. Butler Cats is wrong, so those will not add up, the rest of them do. We've got low quote, low bid from RDO. The state grant was 20.1%, and of that $348,000, the grant would be around $70,000. So it makes the loader very affordable with that state grant too, so. You can see Transforce was real close, but, I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
So this is for a new piece?
This is for a new piece.
Okay.
So this 70 grand comes off the 348?
What then?
This 70 grand comes off the 348?
That's correct, yep. Then drop it down to 278.
Are you surplusing anything that you got then?
We'll be rotating some pieces down and out. We've got a 1998 Deere that's got 18,000 hours on it now. So yeah, we'll be moving some pieces of equipment around. The biggest thing is we'll rotate one of our other pieces of equipment into the waste area, and then this one will be held until we are ready to rotate other pieces that direction, so.
Is it safe to assume the Ryland coupler is standard on the deer and the calf?
That's correct. They're all included. Yep. All of our pieces have the Ryland quick attach on them, so.
Is there an add-on to the Volvo and the Komatsu? Okay. Your recommendation is to go with the John Deere quote?
That's
RDO.
correct.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Dennert. Is there any further discussion?
Should last a long time.
It will.
Motion is to accept the RDO quote for $348,491.41. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
What's availability on that?
6 to 8 months.
I don't know if we'll get it this year, so. It's in this year's budget, it's gonna be in next year's also,
Okay.
so.
Good luck.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, next up, we have Kelsey Vinger, Court Resource Home Memorandum of Understanding. Morning, Kelsey.
Morning.
Morning.
So both of the grants that I had previously shared with you and you had approved of, were approved by the Council for Juvenile Services. So with the Court Resource Home grant, there is a memorandum of understanding between the counties and Lutheran Social Services, just to identify what LSS is responsible for as far as licensing of the homes. It is the same memorandum of understanding that was proposed last year, just with the change in mileage rates. So I'm asking for signature of the MOU.
Right.
Thanks for getting that to us in advance so we can go through it.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Gage to approve the signing of the MOU. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelsey. Next up, discuss the resolution authorizing the lease and sale of the Hub City building for the purpose of industrial development. I believe you all either saw resolution 26-23. Oh, okay.
You have a copy.
Yeah, we have one here.
You made a couple of minor changes to it. There's a couple minor updates to it.
Yeah, it was basically, we had that meeting yesterday, just filling some blanks. So, I don't know if you guys wanna go into exec to, review the proposed purchase agreement and lease. We can do that.
I think that would be a
That
good
one I'll
idea.
make too.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
I'll move it.
Okay, we have a motion by Dennert,
Sorry.
second by Weiss to go into executive session to discuss contracts. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are in exec. All right, we're out of exec. As we get back online here. I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution that we reviewed earlier and authorize signature of the purchase and lease agreement for the Hub City building.
Move to approve.
Motion by Feldheim,
Second.
second by Gage. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll get after it.
All right, next up, consent calendar.
Okay, approval of the general meeting minutes from July 6th.
Move.
Motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Feldheim. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
claims.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move. Second.
Okay.
Shortest one in a while.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Travel request.
Move. Second.
Is that you?
Move.
Drew? Okay, sorry, it came from here, I couldn't tell. Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Raffle permit.
Move.
Motion by Gage,
Second.
second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Temporary malt beverage permit.
Move.
Motion by Feldheim,
Second.
second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Fireworks permit.
Move.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Lease agreement.
Move.
Motion
Second.
by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Landfill tonnage report.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Dennert. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business come before the Brown County Commission this morning? I was asked to remind everyone at 1 o'clock they're having the dedication of the play set out at the Rainbow Play Set out at the fairgrounds. You're welcome to join for refreshments and ribbon cutting and dedication. And other than that,
DOT STIP meeting tonight at 7.
7 at the American, I believe.
Correct.
It is, yeah. Anything else? We'll have budget work following the commission meeting this morning. If nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Exec for legal since Scott Meter's here.
Okay, need a motion to go into exec for legal.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carries. We are in exec. All right, lights back on. We're back in session, out of exec with no action as a result. Is there anything else to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? Not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.